And welcome back to Metropole Sports Center. My name is Nashon Owano. In case you missed out on what we were talking about on the show just before we went for the break, we were talking about the performance of Manchester United in the game against Arsenal. And joining me in studio for the millionth time is Simba Charles, who's a resident Arsenal commentator. I know Shilenje is burning on the other side to be on this set to talk about his team Chelsea, but you're going to be having a special edition to talk about the progress of Chelsea in the league. Simba, there was Liverpool versus West Ham, and the conversation that people are having with regards to that game is the performance of Diogo Jota. Well, first of all, just before we get to talking about Jota in the league, what did you make of that particular fixture?
I would say picture on picture example of what Liverpool can do, especially when it is small teams, in exception of Aston Villa that really get them a whipping this season. I don't know what happened during that, because you'd expect the Liverpool men would carry the game out like that.
But 7 was a lot of goals.
A lot of goals.
A lot of goals for champions.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. Yeah, but here's the thing though. I will talk to you about that fixture. It's a typical Liverpool win. You'd expect them to go in and actually win that game as well. But let's talk about that guy, Jota. But
he's on fire.
He's on fire. You only talk about him in relation to the guy that is replacing, and that's Firmino. So the question is going to be: is Firmino going to really come back to the team? Because Jota went back and scored a hat-trick again in the Champions League after that game. So I'm sort of wondering,
where is Firmino going to fit in?
Firmino going to fit in? Is that the end of Firmino? But I'll take you back to what Jurgen Klopp said after that. Is you see somebody who's performing right now and you forget what has been in the past. That Firmino has been performing good for us. But if you look at the comparison right now, I'd rather not have Firmino, man. I'd rather go with Jota. Yes.
So do you think the likes of Jota are the future of Liverpool?
I think so.
Right,
and this one,
because the likes of Firmino, their time is almost up.
It's almost up. This is what I'll tell you though. The COVID-19 pandemic sort of flattened things up in this sense though, because teams didn't have that much might in terms of expenditure. The only team that really spent that much was Chelsea, and we do know where that money was coming from because they didn't participate in the previous transfer season. So now you have teams looking back and asking themselves the questions: where can we get this kind of performance from? Right? And Firmino steps out a little, and you have Jota coming in, and then you realize, so you're really good at this. And the only thing that has made that is pretty much we were looking for options, because give or take, I mean, when you get into a team like Liverpool, had they had that money or that confidence that the money will be there again once we resume the league, then they would have looked for better alternatives, a loan here or so. But now we're not seeing that. For me, it is times like this when we start to see the likes of Jota, the likes of El Nenes really stand out, because teams like Arsenal they did not have the money to go for Aura, because it would have been really good for them. For me, Jota is that example that should you look back, you have guys who really want to prove to you, and they're going to be the standout performers this season.
If looking outside as an Arsenal fan, there was a gap that I was seeing was going to bring a lot of problems to Liverpool. You remember when Van Dijk was hurt by Pickford a couple of weeks ago, a foul that was going to be that was questionable in terms of the VAR. I was expecting to see a gap there, but Klopp seems to have figured it out.
But you know what? Let's say the truth. I don't know why people keep on saying that Van Dijk is a good defender. He's not. You and I do know that. He's been one of the worst performers Liverpool ever had. In fact, for me, when I saw him out, I said, Liverpool, for the very first time, are going to see they don't need Van Dijk to win games. In fact, most of the times, Van Dijk costs them goals. You and I watched the start of the season games together. You would see that. And if you go back and look at the stats, is among the leading in terms of the players whose mistakes have led to direct goals in Liverpool. So then and look at the number of cards he's also getting. For me, it's a good thing he's not playing. I don't care what any Liverpool fan says or any sports fan says. For me, it's about the stats and the numbers. Van Dijk is not that good of a defender. Let's say the truth.
Yeah.
Let's say the truth.
Where is this, for lack of a better word, where is this Van Dijk fever coming from?
I don't even,
because I know Liverpool fans who are usually,
you know what he does. Okay, I will tell you why. What he does. What he's supposed to do good, sometimes he does it really good,
So it's not like it's not a consistency thing, or
it's not consistent. That's what I'm saying. He's not that consistent. And the fact that now listen, Nation. The fact that you have good strikers who can score for you goals, the likes of Jota, the likes of Mo Salah, the likes of Mane, doesn't mean that we are not gonna see your mistake that led to that goal. No. And let me tell you why we haven't really looked back and seen Van Dijk's mistakes. It's because at the end of the day, they're gonna win that game. Because you have Mo Salah, you have Mane, you have Firmino's, who's gonna score that goal, and then we sort of we sort of write off your mistake. No, Van Dijk's mistakes have been there. Is one of the leading defenders whose mistakes have led to goals, and that for me, him being out of the game is a blessing for Liverpool, and the performances are not going to dip. I mean, they have won every game since it was out. So why are we talking about Van Dijk? Yes.
So whether he's there or not, Liverpool
it's a blessing for Liverpool.
Perfectly.
Yeah, it's a blessing for Liverpool.
Okay. Yes. Simba, as we wrap up the EPL conversation, there was the Leeds United versus Leicester City. You remember at the beginning of the season, we were hinting on the potential that Leeds United were going to bring into the English Premier League.
Yes.
Well, they started pretty much okay because they were giving teams like Liverpool, Manchester City actually had a really tough time against them, and then now Leicester City beat them. What's exactly happening, or is it a matter of how organized the other team is? Because suddenly now they're losing matches.
I will tell you what. It's not like Leeds is a weaker team. I think that's exactly how we start. But when you compare them with Leicester, Leicester top 4 contenders this season. People have to believe that. I mean, they beat us. And you look at the performances. They're what, number 2 now?
They're number 2.
They're number 2 now. And you look at the form for Vardy. Vardy is having
that guy. In fact, I was going to talk about Vardy.
He's having the best time of his life. I mean, if he's in your team, he's going to score. So for me, it's not. Look at Vardy's GA as well. It's really good. It's not about Leeds. But Leeds have the. What can I say? They have their mantle. They have this strength to stay. I don't think they're going back. No, with the likes of Manchester United misbehaving. Funny enough, they're on top of Manchester United in terms of point difference. My point is this: they're not going down. But then, even the performance against Leicester, I think you gotta give it to Leicester. When it comes to Leicester this season, you have to look at Leicester and stop looking at Leeds. That's it. For me, that's the argument. When it comes to Leicester, it's gonna be about Leicester than more about Leicester, less of the team they're playing against.
Okay.
Yes.
I know we had this conversation pre-season when we were having the whole analysis session just before the English Premier League.
Yes.
We've had a couple of games have been played so far. From where you are standing, which players do you think are going to stand out this season? Because number 1, I know Vardy has to be on that list.
Yes.
And Jota. Which other players do you think people should watch out for in this
Everton
league?
striker. Cal Levins, it's got to be there. Talk about Partey, it's got to be there among the top performers as well, because of the system that is working with the Arsenal, it sort of brings him out, sort of gives you a bigger role. So whatever you're going to do, it's going to stand out. Magalhaes, sorry to mention about another Arsenal player, it's going to be there. But let's move a bit to Leicester. Vardy's got to be there as well. But when I look at Liverpool as well, Mo Salah, a consistent performance as well, is going to be there. Yes. Aubameyang, not so much this season. I will tell you why. Arteta's introduced a system that doesn't necessarily have to rely on Aubameyang to win games. I can tell you that. It does. We don't have to need Aubameyang to win games. Aubameyang is now sort of like what's a team player. If you look at where he plays, he even plays on the wing sometimes. That is Arteta saying, yes, but I gotta fit these guys in because I think this system is gonna work. For me, those are the ones that we're gonna say. I don't think we're gonna see so much of a Man City in among the top performers. Sterling is hot and cold. Maybe Foden is hot and cold as well. Aguero, no, Aguero's time is out. I don't see those many players who are gonna stand out. But those ones, I'm talking about, these are the smaller teams. You have this 1 or 2 players are really playing the best of the game. And I can't wait to see how the golden boot is going to be this season. And I have to say, Vardy is going to be there, and Everton striker as well is going to be there.
Okay. Yeah. So as we wrap up the EPL conversation, there are people that are so depressed this week. That is Austin. This is Austin, Clint, Asena, who else?
There's so many. There's so
Pattern. So this is your opportunity now to like tell them.
Here's the thing. Let me just have this word of advice for Manchester United fans. Here's the thing. Your team is small. That's how small you are. You were this small when Ferguson left, but now you are this small at this level. Here's the thing. You're going to get knocked out of the Champions League. That I can tell you. You're back in Europa, and you're going to get knocked out of Europa because I don't think you can beat Arsenal. But here's my advice to you. Don't look at Cavani, don't look at Igalo, don't look at Pogba, look at Greenwood. If Greenwood can't score in every game, that's the level you are. You're quite small. Stop troubling Ole. Ole is on an experiment. You're going to get good after 4 years. I mean, look at us now. We stop troubling Arteta. We good.
Those guys are going to be having a sleepless night. Thank you so much, Simba, for finding time to come on the show. Now it's time for us to switch into the Events Watch segment of the show. Now, the following are some of the activities that you need to be watching out in the sporting world this coming week. Now, starting out with locally, Talanta Cup tournament is going to be returning this coming weekend. The game is going to be held on Sunday at the Bushiri grounds in Navakolo constituency in Kakamega County. The first game is going to be Bushiri Blue Stars, who are the defending champions, are going to be fighting against Ingotse FC from 9 a.m. at the Bushiri grounds before the fixtures kick off at Estadio Di Matia. Winners of the tournament are going to take home a total prize money of 25,000 shillings, uniforms and balls amongst other prizes when the curtain falls late in December. Apart from that, we are going to be having Bundesliga action this coming weekend. That is Werder is going to be playing against FC Köln, and then Augsburg is going to be playing against Hertha, and then RB Leipzig is going to be playing against Freiburg. Stuttgart is going to be playing against Eintracht Frankfurt, and then Union Berlin is going to be playing against Arminia. Mainz versus Schalke, and then finally Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern Munich. Now that wraps up all the stories that we had for you on Metropole Sports Center. Do wish you a fantastic week. See you next week. Same place, same time. Good night.